Hi everyone, in this video I'm going to answer which growth stock is the better buy, Alphabet versus CrowdStrike versus Amazon. I'm going to measure them across 4 different metrics, so let's get right into it, starting with revenue growth. And looking at this metric, CrowdStrike is in the significant lead here with 52.84% revenue growth in its most recent quarter. And even if you look back over the last 3 years, CrowdStrike has had a considerable lead over Amazon and Alphabet. Of course, CrowdStrike is a much smaller company with much greater room to grow, so it may not be an apples to apples comparison here, but still just looking at the difference in growth rate is considerable here. Next comes in at Amazon with 8.58% in the most recent quarter, and then Alphabet at 0.96% in its most recent quarter. However, these companies are expected, Amazon and Alphabet that is, are expected to grow at a much more rapid pace after 2023. I'd say starting 2024 and beyond. They got a boost during the pandemic, and so now they're kind of getting back into this normalized growth rate instead of the boosted growth rates we saw here during the pandemic. Alphabet grew at 60% in one quarter. That's way ahead of where you can expect it. I would say double-digit growth between 10 and 20% would be a reasonable expectation for Alphabet and Amazon over the next 3 to 5 years, and much faster than that for CrowdStrike. Nearly twice that would be reasonable to expect here. The next metric I wanted to look at was operating profit margin over the trailing 12 months for these three companies. And in this metric, Alphabet is in the major lead here at an operating margin of 26.46%. Next coming in line is Amazon, and then finally CrowdStrike in last place here at negative 7.48%. However, if you look at the trend, CrowdStrike is showing a much better trend than either of the others, with considerable expansion in its operating margin from negative 60% all the way up to negative 7.5%. At that rate, it can show major progress in turning things around, turning positive in the operating margin if it continues growing at this rate. The next metric I wanted to look at is cash flow from operations to sales on a trailing 12-month basis. I want to look at how good the companies are in turning sales into cash flow, right? Turning sales into cash. That's ultimately what we want as investors, is for our companies that we invest in to turn their sales into cash. And in this metric, surprisingly, CrowdStrike is in the lead here, turning 40% of its sales into cash flow, despite the fact that it's negative still in operating profit margin. This is a result of most likely the company paying a significant portion of its expenses in stock-based compensation rather than in normal wages. The next in this metric is Alphabet at 32.35%, and then finally Amazon way below here in this metric at 9.10%. Finally, I wanted to look at valuation here, and looking at the forward price to earnings ratio. Amazon at 64.26 is the most expensive out of these three. Next is CrowdStrike at 56.96, and finally Alphabet at 18.52. So to answer the question, which one of these three is the best stock to buy right now, I'm going to say Alphabet. Alphabet is the best stock to buy right now. Although I will say that CrowdStrike is making a strong case here. CrowdStrike expanding its operating margin, expanding the cash flow from operations to sale, making great progress on those fronts, as well as growing the top line much faster than the others, is making a strong case, although it's not quite there yet in terms of eclipsing Alphabet. And just the fact that CrowdStrike is selling at a valuation that's much more expensive than Alphabet, even though its metrics are making good progress, I wouldn't say it's enough progress to justify that as much of a premium of a valuation that is trading for right now. So for now, Alphabet is the best stock to buy out of these three. As always, I truly, truly appreciate your viewership, and I hope you'll see me next time for another video. Thank you for watching. I want to thank the Motley Fool for sponsoring this video. Visit fool.com/parkev for the 10 best stocks to buy now.